Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome one, welcome all to. I don't think I changed over the giveaway, so let me change that real quick. But hello, hello, welcome one, welcome all to more Trials of Innocence. You might be wondering. And also, again, thank you to everybody who tuned in and joined in for the subathon. It was so much fun. It was truly a blast, and I'm glad I did it. And I'm also really glad I finished Amari in it. So, yes. So for the most part, this week we'll be doing. This week, both Tuesday and Thursdays will be both Tuesday and Thursday. No, I was just checking. So, copy. Paste. Okay, giveaway is live again. So, hello, thank you one, thank you all. Welcome one, welcome all back to more Trials of Innocence. I think I already said that, but hello, welcome one, welcome all. So, like I said, yes, Saturday was the uncapped subathon to kind of for a lot of different reasons. Is because I promised one during I won during Extra Life last year because you guys raised that kind of money. And then there was also the reason because and it was kind of a low-key celebration of my affiliate anniversary and VTuber model debut. This VTuber model debut. So our next big event that you guys can all be looking forward to is actually going to be in September. It's going to be September 6th, actually. That's that first Saturday of September. Because you know why? It's special to me. Because that's actually my birthday. So every year I do a 12-hour stream to celebrate my birthday. And it's the one time I get to do it on my actual birthday. It's also to celebrate my actual VTuber debut, which was September 1st. That's why I jokingly say 6 hours for the VTuber, 6 hours for the birthday. No, it's a both. It's a 12-hour bash of both. So anyways, yeah, so that's looking forward to, and I am sort of planning it now, not really. But what I also did was I also came up with another arc for my VTuber to come that kind of comes after the third arc that I talked about at the end of at the end of the subathon. Because I realized when I was thinking about it over again, I was just like, there's still one loose end that needs to be tied up. And then I was just like, okay, but I'm not going to talk about that because that wasn't going to happen until afterwards. So yeah. Plus, then I get to use the model that's I'm going to be using for the end of Arc 3 for Arc 4. And then after Arc 4 ends, I think I'm going to retire Khalees as a character because I think after Arc 4, there's not much for her story to go. So anyways, I think I should just shut up and let's play Trials of Innocence. Oh, right. Gotta go down here so that we can see the text. It's fine. It's how I like it. Chat. I just have to remember to bring myself back up for too many types and then bring myself back down. Then bring myself back down at the end of too many types for more Trials of Innocence on Thursdays. Because now that we finished Amori, it's Trials of Innocence until we finish Trials of Innocence. That way we can up straight to Spirit of Justice. Well, I haven't even fully understood the details of the case, but the trial is about to start. I still don't know how the victim fell off the cliff and why the defendant was arrested. It really adds much difficulty to myself to have such a weird client. You know, you gotta get in the mind. When you're doing stuff like this, you gotta get in the mind. You gotta get in the mind of your client. Oh, so do it with me, chat. Oh God, I did not look into mouses yet. When did Luna arrive? Better to greet her. For some reason, I decided to have Luna come in to participate in the trial. Finally, I managed to explain the relevant information and the evidence of the case to her before the trial. Luna? Yeah! Why are you scaring me? Because, yeah! It was you scaring me, okay? Good morning, Chief. Morning. Why the heavy look? Not like the usual you at all. Well, I'm fine, really. Are you worried about our client? He is indeed the type to be worried about. Oh! Every time we talk about our clients, I will go, oh! No, it's not about him. I'm worried about you, Chief. Me? Are you sure? Absolutely sure. Sure. Chief, do you know who the prosecutor is today, right? Yes, of course. Game? Did the game... Otherwise, I wouldn't have called you here. Experienced prosecutor Stella Ray, an unable woman renowned throughout the legal world. They said she even practiced boxing. The type you wouldn't want to mess with after just one look. But most importantly, she's Luna's elder sister. She always thought Luna should join her at the prosecutorial rate, but after graduating abroad, Luna came to work for me instead. It makes Prosecutor Ray particularly annoyed with me. Well, what a nerve-wracking situation. Anyways, I just met Sis. She seems to be in a pretty bad mood. How bad is it? Give it to me straight, Luna. Well, she punched several cracks in the wall, shouting, "Use my fist to conclude the match with a punch," and things like that. That's really bad. I should consider wearing armor to court. I just kind of want to see art of just like a defense attorney, him just showing up in like a full suit of armor, and the judge looking at him and be like, Mr. Drake, why are you wearing such armor? It's to protect myself against the prosecutor, Your Honor. And then it looks over the prosecutor. We actually don't know what Stella looks like, I guess. Our client seems reluctant to talk. He's ready for the courtroom. With this around, I shouldn't say too much, Chief. Today's all up to you. Alzi. Well, oh, okay. Is this really going to be okay? I hope so. Calm thyself. We're fine. Well, court is now in session for the trials of Mr. Wolfgang Caulfield. Defense attorney Charlie Drake is ready here. Mr. Drake's style is as untidy as ever. Well, don't tease me about my stubble. Your beard is much longer. Now, the prosecution. You. Huh? Such a fiery mood right from the start. Prosecutor Stella is ready. Defense, come and face your doom. Oh my gosh. Guys, she looks like Cloran. Kind of. You know? Can you... Like, come on. She looks like Cloran from Genshin Impact. First we had an Alakino look-alike, someone who looked kind of like Alakino. Are they just ripping off all the Fontaine characters? No, wait, no, the judge doesn't look like Neuvillette. We're fine. Well, defense, please come face your... No, wait. Prosecutor, what are you saying? Excuse me? Oh, no, I didn't say anything. Listen over there. I don't know what tricks you used to lure my sister into your shady law office. Today I'll make you suffer a crushing defeat in front of her. I knew it. Maybe I should have worn a armor to court. I still want art of that, though. Sis. I have a feeling it was Luna's choice to be a defense attorney. If there's any personal grudges between prosecution and defense, please settle it after the trial. Now both sides are ready. Prosecutor, begin with your opening statement. ASAP, please. Excuse me? Oh, please start your opening statement at your own pace. Hey, the judge is giving to her too quickly. Welcome to our world, Charlie. Welcome to the world of defense lawyer games. Welcome to the world of lawyer games. The judge will most likely always be in the palm of the prosecution. Welcome to our world. This case is simple. Opening statements is just a formality. Hello there, APHTR. Because I don't really talk about viewer count. Hey, at least I didn't try to renounce a word. I just said letters. This case is simple. Opening statements is just a formality. Everything is clearly stated in the indictment. No need to say more. Yes. As for the details of the case, it's more efficient to leave it to the defense detective in charge of the investigation. Detective in charge. Isn't that the detective with the loud voice I met yesterday? I am good. Saris, come for us. Witness, state your name and occupation. I am the detective in charge of this case. Name Sirius Spark. You can call me Sirius. I'm serious. My throat's still pretty sore after the subathon, so don't expect me to yell like he would. As expected, it still feels like hearing an echo. I'm a transition from a military doctor to a criminal investigation department. My experience is awful beneficial in cases. What's the department I'm often referred to as the Rising Star? I'm serious. If you keep rambling, I'll punch your head into the wall. Whoa. No, I dare not. I'm serious. Luna, I mean it. Next time I meet your sister, I'll wear armor to court. Chief, I mean it too. Your armor will be punched through by Sis's fist. So needless to say, we're fucked even if we wear armor. Quick, what can we wear that's better than armor? Wait, no, we're fine. We're fine. Hopefully Charlie's got some plot armor. Okay, that's the only thing that's gonna save his ass. He needs much more than just armor. He needs the plot armor. In a word, I'll explain the case now. The victim, Elio Gonrado, an Italian businessman. He worked for a major pharmaceutical company. As per the investigation, worked for a major pharmaceutical company. That's the first time I've heard of it. The crime occurred in Nayfall Valley. Defendant Wolfgram Collier, a sophomore student at the public university, was traveling in the vicinity during the incident. Really? A college student killed a Italian in a distinct valley? It does sound strange. So I conducted a thorough investigation. I'm serious. I'm serious is his catchphrase. It's like when I was playing Dual Destiny and I would just go, "In justice we trust," whenever Fulbright would say it. And yes, I would bring it out, my hand out every time, like I'm saluting. I don't have a button that would be. I don't have a. I mean, I guess you could go, "I'm serious." So serious, my glasses will not stay straight. Enough with some nonsense. Just testify about the case investigation and the reason for arrest. Here it goes. The incident occurred in the hour earliest of August 20th, and the victim, Eleanor Garanado, fell off the cliff and died. The victim's watch was broken during the fall, so the estimated time of death is 1:37 a.m. I'm serious. Or, I'm serious. Oh, that was the wrong button, but I like it. A military dagger and a broken pair of sunglasses were found at the scene of death. Signs of struggle were discovered on the ground of the cliff and the victim's clothing. It must have been a homicide. I'm serious. I'm serious. There we go. I found decisive evidence proving that the defendant, Wolfgang and Kellyegg, is the murderer. That's all. I'm serious. Sounds like the victim died while struggling with someone on a cliff. Exactly. If serious used for fewer "I'm serious" is when speaking, the case would be clearer. I should probably take the sunglasses off. The victim was really careless. Why did he have to struggle with someone on the cliff? Hey, is it acceptable to struggle with someone elsewhere? I don't know, you're the defense attorney, you tell us. Anyways, let the defense attorney begin their cross-examination. Chief, what should we do? Even though you told me the details of the investigation, I'm still confused. Is there any contradiction in Detective Sparks' testimony? I don't think so, but before searching for contradictions, let's try to ask questions and gather more details about the case. The main act is finally starting. I'm dealing with Prosecutor Ray under Luna's gaze. I can't afford to be lax in this trial. Let's do this.
Wait a sec.
The victim's clothing. What kind of marks are there specifically? Hey! I was just about to say, why'd you interrupt me? The witness was just about to say, why did you interrupt him? Yeah, Detective Spark was just about to say, why did you interrupt him? Jeez, I get it, guys. I'm rude because I interrupted the detective. You guys must be conspiring to mess with me. They're gaslighting. Hey, Charlie, there's this little thing called gaslighting, and that's what they're trying to do.
Wait a sec.
Are you sure that the victim died from falling and not some other cause? Don't underestimate me. I'm not the forgetful detective who neglects evidence or skips coat washing all year. That's just gumshoe! Dude, what the fuck? That's gumshoe! That's basically gumshoe! Feels like I heard something like that before. Yeah, it's basically just a reference to gumshoe. Because in justice we trust. Trust never forgets to wash their coat. So it had to be gumshoe. In a word, the opposite report indicates that the cause of death was a broken neck, a slight skull fracture, and an upper body abscerations with gravel suggest a death from a fall. I'm serious. Oh, Oh, thanks. Thanks for the opposite report. That's a terrifying way to die. Is it possible that he was killed in some other way and then pushed off the cliff? No. There's no possibility of that. Certainly, definitely, and absolutely. Please trust these forensics. Mr. Drake, if you don't believe the forensics results, you can go verify it yourself. Hey, I'm a lawyer, not a forensics doctor. Hey, why not both? I'm kidding, no. It seems the cause of death is very clear and uncontroversial in this case. Your Honor, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one.
Wait a sec.
What is this so-called decisive evidence exactly? Oh, we're skipping to the early parts already. There's still several pieces of evidence that haven't been clarified. I'm serious. Since this lawyer is so eager, let me just follow this evidence out in one go. Chief, should we start by cross-examining the testimony line by line, sort of thing, to sort things out? This will make it easier to understand when cross-referencing with the evidence. Right, please wait.
Wait a sec.
According to the opposite report, the time of death on the watch matches the time of death. The opposite report shows the time of death between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m., which aligns with the actual time. I'm serious. Is it possible that the murderer or someone else manipulated the watch to fake a false time of death? I knew you would say that. Listen carefully, Mr. Drake. Firstly, there's only the victim's fingerprints are on the watch, and there's no recent touch at the knob, which proves the watch hasn't been manipulated recently. Secondly, the victim's body was located beneath a steep cliff, and it would take several hours to get down from the top. Would you be such an idiot to go all the way down there just to set the clock? Well, I was just saying that casually. Prosecutor Stella seems more worked up than usual today. How much does she hate me? This is so unfortunate. Sis seems more worked up than usual today. How much does she hate you? This is so unfortunate. I feel like someone is thinking the exact same thing. In a word, this piece of evidence can basically prove the time of the incident.
Wait a sec.
Is there anything strange about the two things found at the crime scene? Well, if you insist, here's something. This dagger only collected palm prints of the victim's left hand. Ah, so the victim's dominant hand was his left hand. Don't waste our time. She knows me too well. This feels terrible. As for the sunglasses, they were already broken and no fingerprints were found. There seems to be some electronic component on the frame, but what exactly is its function? Why are you asking us this question? Aren't you the detective in charge of this case? No. I'm not asking you. I'm asking myself. I'm serious. Ow. Fuck. Why do I slam my fist on my desk? When he goes, I bumped my bike stand and it hurt on my knuckle and it really hurts. I think I need some ice. Oh, that's what I needed at Walmart. The electronic component is serious cerebral damage. Police are analyzing its function, but the results won't be ready today. I'm serious. I feel a chill coming from the prosecution. Or is it just my imagination? Yes. For now, it seems like the sunglasses' functions are not directly related to this case. Please continue your testimony, witness. Let's think. Detective Spark said so many "I'm serious," echoing one after another. Yeah, but so far there hasn't been anything too hard to understand. Well, what should we do? I don't think Detective Spark would lie, so as usual, let's try our best to ask him and get as many details as possible. If there's anything contradictory to the evidence we have, then boldly point it out to him.
Wait a sec.
So the so-called decisive... What's the so-called decisive evidence exactly? What I was about to say leaves the murderer, the defendant, nowhere to hide. I'm serious. I have a bad feeling. We found the defendant's fingerprints and a shoe print on the victim's clothing. I'm serious. What? I had no idea at all. Torn marks on the collar of the victim's shirt and was clear fingerprints of the defendant. Allow me to submit the evidence. More precisely, the button lock on the victim's pants. We found a shoe print on the buttocks of. We found Wolfgram's collier. The soil of the shoe prints on the victim's pants matched perfectly about the crime scene. Above all, the evidence proves that clearly the defendant was kicked at the crime scene. I'm serious. Okay, so hear me out. Order! This is indeed decisive evidence. Detective Spark, please add the statement to your testimony. Is this really decisive evidence? Something feels off.
Wait a sec.
Are you sure the shoe print belongs to the defendant? In the defendant's room, we found the traveler's shoes he wore on the crime night, matching the shoe print exactly. I'm serious. Did you check the soles of the traveler's shoes? Of course. Please trust my professional abilities. The soil on the soil of the soles of the shoes is indeed the same as the soil on the crime scene. Your Honor, if the defense attorney has no objection, please strike the gavel. I'll go home once this is over, and I'll be darned if I'll be in this darn place long enough to see my hair splitting. Why is Prosecutor Stella objecting here? What's with the strange sense of inconsistency? Chief, the soil of the shoe print matches that on the clip. Could our client really be? Wait, something's off. The soil from the shoe print on the pants of the clip, but does that really prove that Wolfgang Collier kicked him there? Could there be other possibilities? I better take a closer look at the exhibit. Upon discovering the victim's clothing showed tearing around the collar with fingerprints matching Wolfgang Collier's shoe prints was on the right buttocks. The soil composition matched that of the crime scene. Hello there. Time of death, broken neck to a fall from a height. Victim's skull shows slight fractures in the front body. A seeming part of a clothing. One is a neatly cut, and the cloth has a few fibers. It's worth a shot.
Objection.
It was right? like, oh, this is worth a shot, and then I was fucking right. I love that feeling. That is like the best feeling ever. Well, looks like I finally got you. Detective Spark, you just mentioned that the defendant Wolfgang Cauliflower kicked the defendant at the cliff, right? Yes, I'm serious. And then the victim tragically fell off the cliff. Unfortunately, Detective Spark, you seem to have missed some important information. What? Based on your findings, the soil around Nightfall Valley Cliff is completely identical to that within the Lemon Village. Shoe print soils on the victim's pants match the crime scene soil, which means that it also is the same soil in Lemon Village. The defendant might have kicked the victim, but where exactly did he kick him? Even if the defendant has never been to the cliff, kicking him within the village would leave the same shoe print. Your so-called decisive evidence doesn't seem so decisive now. Luckily, I found the breakthrough right at the beginning.
Nonsense!
That was a quite powerful line. I see now. You don't have much ability, but you're great at fooling people. You say the defendant has never been to the cliff? Where's the evidence? Huh? Better not say, do you have evidence that he was there now? Yeah, that's true. We can't say that we can't say we have that we have. We better not ask if she has. It'd be a back and forth question all the damn time if we just asked her that question. Judging by her smug expression, she probably does have evidence. Serious, you can step down. Yes, I'm serious. Your Honor, the prosecution requests the summoning of the next witness to crush the defendant's nonsense. But please go ahead. Looks like the judge hasn't quite recovered from Sis's pressure. I'm curious to see how far you can struggle with your little tricks. We now call the first to discover the body, the unfortunate otaku in the village, Altered Lemon, to the stand. Sup, Alter? Hello, everyone. His otaku nature is evident, but why exactly is he unfortunate? People dragged into a court by Sis to testify are probably all unfortunate. Witness, your name and occupation. Well, my name is Alter Lemon. Occupation, tech geek? No, that doesn't seem like an occupation. Get to the point! Whoa, so scary! He probably looks at her and is like, oh, Francesca? Get it? Because he plays a lawyer game, and it's obviously it's Ace Attorney. So therefore, he's gonna look at her and be like, oh, it's Francesca. But my first look was like, oh, Cloran, because I play Genshin. Excuse me? My bad. I don't have a formal occupation in the village, but I usually handle setting up and fixing electronic devices. That would call you a tech guru, Alter. If we weren't in a trial, I really want to give your sister a thumbs up. Agreed. Wasted quite a bit of my time. You're the first to discover the body, weren't you? Well, yes, well, not the only one, though. Do you believe that the murderer in this case could only be the defendant? Well, it's not that simple. I reached a conclusion through a process of elimination. Yes or no? Whoa! My bad! Yes! Then quickly provide your testimony. Well, sure enough, he has become unfortunate. I kind of feel bad for our unfortunate otaku. Well, Dr. Vincent and I went out to gather herbs on the morning of the 20th and reached a cliff. I accidentally discovered the body below the cliff, so Dr. Vincent called the police. I heard the incident happened at midnight, so that young man is probably the one who could have committed the crime. After all, our village has a rule, And no one would go out at night. No one goes out at night. What does that mean? For some reason, the village has a special curfew rule. All villagers are prohibited from going out after 6 p.m. every night until it's lifted at 8 a.m. the next morning. Oh, I see. Night in the mountains can be dangerous. Not going out is a wise choice. Yeah, Your Honor, they don't go out because of a demon. Young people who haven't been to the countryside may not understand this. The judge suddenly shows an expression of wisdom in old age. It's like the way you usually educate me, Chief. Do I? Okay, we get it. Charlie's getting old. He's in his 30s. Am I gonna make that joke the entire game? Abso-fucking-lutely I will. Besides, there's quite an age difference between me and him. Defense, please proceed with the cross-examination after your little conversation. Okay.
Wait a sec.
Why are you so certain? I remember you said yesterday that you didn't even know the defendant. Well, that's true. After the elimination process, he's the only one left to be the murderer. Your tone doesn't sound certain. Are you truly convinced he's the murderer?
Objection!
Your Honor, Mr. Drake is obviously leading the witness. Are you going to turn a blind eye? Oh, is it my turn? Of course! Or what do I need you for? Whoa, yes. Objection sustained. Defense, please refrain from leading the witness during testimony. Well, this trial has turned into this. I have a sudden urge to flip the table. Witness, please continue your testimony. Huh? Is it my turn? I might just kill this boss if you guys keep chatting. What a guy. Not even nervous standing in a courtroom. Dude's played Ace Attorney. I don't think he's nervous. No, I probably would be if I actually had to be called up to on a murder trial as a witness. Even though I have played all but like 2 Ace Attorney games. Yes, I am saying Professor Layton, and I am including Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney because that is technically Ace Attorney. Hiding snacks in the assistant's desk drawer. Hiding snacks in the assistant's desk drawer? You have no right to say that.
Wait a sec.
Are you referring to the village doctor, Vincent Lemond? Yes, he's a good-hearted guy. Everyone in our village likes him. He's quite popular. Well, considering he's the only doctor. What kind of herbs were you gathering at the cliff? I don't know much herbs. Something like semen plantagenus. Probably the semen plantagenus. Seems to be a common herb in the mountain terrain. This testimony seems fine.
Wait a sec.
By your rule, you mean the curfew, right? Yeah, it's clearly written on the noseboard at the village entrance. How binding is this curfew? Do people often violate it and go out at night? Are you kidding? No one wants to be eaten by the night demon. Besides, the last time someone violated a curfew was 10 years ago. Yeah, it was you. You were the one who broke the curfew. It only left me with childhood trauma. Please don't make me recall that again. Ah! If you keep making baseless speculations like this, I might give you childhood trauma too. What? I'm in my 30s. How could I have childhood trauma? But I remember outsiders don't have to follow the curfew, right? Yes, if everyone had stayed in the village, this incident wouldn't have happened. However, the binding force of this curfew doesn't seem as strong as I expected. Should I continue this cross-examination? Continue!
Wait a sec.
Since the curfew applies to the entire village, does that mean no one is actually supervising its enforcement? Well, that's true in a way. Huh? I have a bad feeling. A really bad one. I knew you would make a fuss here. Huh? I think what I said It makes sense. Since the defendant insists on being heading to his doom, I might as well give him a favor. Self-proclaimed tech geek. Use your technology you're so proud of to shut Mr. Drake up forever. Alright. It's a bit unfair to use to the defendant. But I have evidence to prove that he's the murderer. It's a fancy piece of decisive evidence. Is that so? Witness, if you have any crucial information that it hasn't been disclosed, please add it to your testimony. No problem. If you need evidence, I have a night camera set up at the village entrance. Check it out.
Wait a sec.
How could you be so sure it was a body? Well, isn't it obvious? I saw that blind guy lying on the ground with blood around, so I figured he fell from the cliff. And I exclaimed, "Oh, she!" Whoa, this dude was quite scared at the time. He even scared me. The cliff was at least 15 meters high. No one could survive a fall from there. Hoping for the best, we called the doctor when we called the police. But well, after a measurement, a cliff to go ground height difference is 18 meters. Akin to a fall from a 6-story building. Instant death. I really wish it was you who fell, Mr. Drake. If I do fall, please inform the police to arrest your sister. Take it easy, Chief. If Sis wants to do something to you, she'll use her fists. That's the most comforting thing I've heard. Just like, yeah, if you find me dead off a cliff, make sure they arrest your sister. No, dude, she'll just punch you to death. That's comforting.
Wait a sec.
Why are you so certain? I remember you saying yesterday you didn't even know the defendant. Well, that's true, but after the eliminated...
Objection!
Oh yeah, we already did this.
Wait a sec.
The camera only turns on automatically at night? Exactly. That's my proud masterpiece. The camera operates from 6 p.m. in the evening till 8 a.m. the next day, which means it concludes with the curfew. The police have already investigated that there's no way to enter or exit the village without being recorded by the camera. On the day of the incident, the camera was functioning properly with no signs of being covered, tampered with, or damaged, which means that the footage from the camera will be the most decisive evidence. Huh? This sounds extremely bad. So, Mr. Drake, do you want to take a guess at what the camera captured? I am just ahead so that way people could see more of the text. And also there's a thing that the game does that I really want to make sure that people can see. But it's like really only really when we're in other places. I'll give you a hint. Ever heard the term weave your own cocoon? Well, I better not guess. So, the sterling moment is here. Please take a look at this. This is the footage from August 19th at 6 p.m. when the camera was activated. No. It looks like the camera covers the entire village gate, but it seems no one passed by at the time. Showing this image to inform the court that there's no way to bypass the camera at the village entrance. It seems so. Given the range, unless someone has supernatural abilities, anyone entering or leaving the village gate at night would be captured by this camera. Good thing you understand. Now that you have a chance to abandon Mr. Drake and join my side. Well, if defense assistant switches sides to become a prosecutor in court, this case will go down in history. I mean, it's not bad for a defense attorney to literally jump from the gallery to become the prosecutor. I'm referring to chapter 4 of The Union Culprit. That's happened. Next, till a short time before the incident, there was absolutely no one passing by. Well, yeah, because everyone was dealing with the curfew. Hold on. Yep. Up. There we go. I would say objection, abstain, but there was no objection. But when fast forwarding to 1:12 a.m. on August 20th, that dude just screams to me, I am going to either murder someone or someone's going to murder me. He just has that vibe. He just looks like he looks like he would murder. I think he had intention to murder. Now, hold on. I didn't read the last one. Looks like this is the image of the dead blonde guy walking out of the village gate. Pretty impressive, huh? That does look like Mr. Gioando. Well, poor man, still unaware of the impending death. However, it should be very dark around 8 a.m. How could the camera capture such clear footage? Oh, this is my proud super weapon. The camera is equipped with a mysterious ray-assisted probe. Even in dark, it can use the principles of mysterious imaging to make the footage very clear. Oh, the power of modern technology. Hey, what does mysterious mean exactly? The judge completely ignores the suspicious high tech. Wait, with this shooting angle, is it possible that someone disguised themselves as the victim? Wait, with this shooting angle, is it possible that someone else disguised as the victim? Is that what you're thinking, Mr. Drake? God, these people can read me like a fucking book! God! She's got me again. Then please listen carefully. The victim was an Italian, and the clothes he was wearing are all foreign luxury brands. Where could you find the same style of clothing in such a remote village? I have a feeling there's a witness we may or may not know about. Also, the blonde hair of the victim is clearly visible in the footage. Can you produce someone with the same golden hair for me? Yeah. I better not suggest that it was possible to dye hair or wear a wig. Making baseless speculations is digging my own grave. Just remember, he was just like, maybe I should have worn a suit of armor to court today. And then Luna, who's Stella's younger sister, would be like, Chief, she would just punch straight through it. It seems that the victim did walk out of the village gate at 1:12 in the midnight. There's no room for doubt about that. And then, after a short period of time, let's see who appeared. How is this possible? Wait. You know, at this angle. He looks kind of hot. You know. I hate to keep bringing up Genshin characters, but, you know, I'm getting like a little bit of Rice Lee vibes here. But the fact that Rice Lee actually canonly has killed people, like 2 people, it's like, it's actual fucking Genshin canon. Yeah, this doesn't bode well. Didn't expect you to be so surprised. Did you fail to find out that the defendant was at the scene at the time of the murder? I barely could have got 2 cents out of my client. As a defense attorney, you know nothing about the defendant's actions. How does it feel to be betrayed by the person you trust the most? Whoa, sis is looking at me. So scared, Chief. Help me. What's going on? I don't know the victim. It's time to run to the crime scene. And I don't need any defense. If you want to investigate, go ahead. But I didn't ask for your help. I'm a lone wolf with a backpack singing aloud in my moonlit mountain peak. This guy never trusted me at all. He never told the truth from the beginning, huh? At 1:26, our defendant walked out to the village gate. Maybe he was already filled with murderous intent.
Objection.
Prosecution, please refrain from making subjective speculations. Objection sustained. Prosecution, mind your... Excuse me? Go ahead. Whether it's subjective or not, let the evidence speak for itself. Continue, witness. We're about to see Mr. Drake crumble. Okay, fast forward a bit. And then we got this footage. At 12:18, the defendant returned to the village. Wait, are you going to say, yes, this is the last footage captured by the camera of someone passing by that night? Except for these 3 moments, no one entered or left the village that night. Fuck. As stated earlier in the morning, the victim, Elio Garinado, walked out of the village shortly after. The defendant also exited. After some time, the defendant returned to the village. Apart from these moments, no one entered or left the village that night. So, Your Honor, let the priceless guessing game begin. Can you tell us where the victim and the defendant went during this period and what they did? Me again? Let me think. I do love guessing games, whether it's a surprise or not. Your Honor, maybe we should introduce you to all the puzzles in the Professor Layton game that I got by sheer brute force. Those are fun puzzles. Since no one else left the village and the victim ended up dead beneath the cliff, it's obvious that the victim and the defendant must have gone to the cliff, and then the defendant killed the victim, right? Also, are we absolutely sure that there was no third party involved who never left the village or never entered the village? What he has to say about that, prosecution? And her defense would be like, oh, where's your evidence that there's a third person? Order. Excellent deduction. Uh-oh. She led the judge to say that the defendant is the murderer. Well, I am confident in my guessing ability. So now that you have revealed the answer by yourself, what are you waiting for? Please strike the gavel and announce the verdict. As for me, I can go home and have a good massage. Seriously, it can't be true. Chief, do something or sister's gonna win, right? It seems that we have reached a moment to draw a conclusion. Although the defendant's motive is not clear enough, faced with such compelling evidence, I believe that even if we were to announce the verdict now, there wouldn't be any objections. Well, from the beginning of the trial until now, I've been constantly overshadowed by Luna's sister. Well, if I had a feeling yesterday something was off with my client, it seems the situation is more complicated than expected. Since Luna is right there watching, slacking off any further won't do. Although it's a bit risky, there's only one way to counterattack. Let the Ray sisters see the defense style passed down to the generation in the Drake & Co. and Drake & Thomas Co. So I hereby pronounce the defendant in this case, Wolfgang Cullifade.
Objection.
What? Does the defense still have objections? Well, Prosecutor Stella seems to be in a hurry for a verdict today. It's you who seem to be a bit too unhurried. Why not become more serious from the beginning? Huh? What are you talking about? Phew. Even she saw through the fact that I didn't give it my all. She's really something. I better be careful. Your Honor, it seems something crucial has been overlooked before. Seems something crucial has been overlooked before you strike the gavel. Excuse me? The prosecution, through a series of testimonies and evidence, has shown the only possibility of the defendant's killing. But is there any other possibility? Is that really the case? The reason you think is so is because there's a crucial figure whose testimony we overlooked. Whose is it? The defendant himself! Chief, do you know what you're doing? Of course I do. Since that guy kept silent with us in the detention center, if we want him to spill the beans, there's only one place to go. Yes, right here in this courtroom. The defense formally requests the defendant to examine in court. But I'm ready to announce the verdict. Sis? Chief, what's going on with you two? Finally, the real showdown is about to begin. Yes, isn't it interesting? Your Honor? Yes? The prosecution withdraws its request for a verdict. The defense is allowed to question the defendant in court. Ah, yes. It's really sad that I can't get this music on Spotify. This is so good! However, I want to make it clear. No matter what tricks you try, Mr. Drake, it's all in vain. I, for one, don't care about the outcome of this case. I came here today just to have a fair and square battle with you. And then to pursue some stubborn girl who's on the right path. That suits me just fine. Sis, Chief, why do I feel like I'm triggered by all of this? You could say that, but I'm not entirely saying. But not entirely. I think Prosecutor Stella is also looking forward to an exfoliating fight. Even though it's troublesome to start, it's time to start the counterattack. This court has already cross-examined 2 witnesses in succession. As both sides deem the defendant's testimony crucial, the court will adjourn for a 10-minute recess starting now. Prosecution, please prepare to summon the defendant. So, Luna, how you feeling about this? Hey, so you lied to me, bitch. This young man still seems unwilling to talk. Hey, you want me to testify? Want to force me to plead guilty? Only insane lawyers would do such a thing. I don't know what you're planning, but my attitude is the same as yesterday. Completely the same. As a lone wolf, accepting help from others is not my style. It's not, especially not a baffling man like you. Just uncooperative as ever. Well then, if it wasn't for your father's sake, I wouldn't have taken this case. I'm a lone wolf with a backpack, singing aloud the moonlit mountain peak. Looks like he's about to howl like a wolf. I better leave now. Hey, Chief. Why do you look so relaxed? Well, obviously, you have it all figured out, don't you? Have I? I still feel like I could be punched through by your sister at any moment. No, you won't. Honestly, I didn't realize you were giving it your all. You weren't giving it your all from the beginning. Actually, you got a plan. Haven't you? Well, I wish I had. Unfortunately, I cannot predict what will happen when questioning the defendant. You better worry about me for a bit. Oh, is that so? All right, it's about time. Let's go. Regardless, interrogating him is absolutely necessary. After all, our agency's philosophy is only to trust people and things that are worthy of trust. In this world full of chaos and illusions, the truth is exactly deprived through suspicion. Am I right, Chief Thomas? I hope we get to hear more about Mr. Thomas. I have a feeling he died at some point, and it was like a tragic murder. Maybe that's the tragic murder they were talking about from 5 years ago. Well then, now to continue with the trial of Mr. Wolfgang Colliford. Here. In a recent situation, the defense requests the defendant to testify personally. Now the defendant may take the stand. Sorry, I felt like I had to. Order. A backpack? Why is the defendant allowed to bring such a thing to court? Let me explain. Our defendant here says the backpack is more important than his life. He hasn't carried it too long since yesterday, and his shoulders needed it. He said something like that. Just for that reason? Then I threw about 40 punches in his chest. After that, I said, even if you hit me 100 times, it won't stop me from getting my backpack back. Ah! So that's it. Dude's one tough cookie. My goodness, this guy's much stronger than he looks. I thought this could punch through a wall with mere 4 punches. But he's still fine after more than 40 punches. Is he made of steel? If the defendant is acquitted in this case, we should consider hiring him as a security guard. Yeah, he's not. He wouldn't do well. Maybe. God, I feel like I have to sneeze. Brilliant. Our client has gained the favor of the judge in a peculiar way. Stop talking about irrelevant things. Let's proceed with the established procedure now. Defendant, state your name and occupation. My name is Wolfgang Kauffer, sophomore majoring in finance at Public University. Your lawyer requested you to testify. Did you see the previous trial? Huh? Yeah, I did. Say what you want quickly while you can. All right, seize this chance to find the breakthrough. I've been feeling strange since earlier. I had no idea what you guys were talking about. It was my first time to Lemon Village. I didn't know the victim or the villagers before any of the villagers before I arrived. Although I had seen that deceased foreigner once, I never had any further interaction with him. Why would I kill a total stranger? It's ridiculous. Well, what's going on with everyone? The defense's testimony is full of holes. Even your sister didn't bother to refute it. Defendant, you should be aware of this kind of childish confession won't work in the courtroom. Also, the defendant's body is made of steel. His brain seems to be a mess. This meaningless self-defense has no value in questioning. The defendant is heading for his doom. Mr. Drake, just finish the questioning quickly. Indeed, the defendant is making claims opposite to the evidence. It's clear he's hiding something. I'll just point out the most obvious contradiction and guide him.
Wait a sec.
had never had any further interaction. Not even a single word. Strictly speaking, we did exchange a few words. Well, what were they? I encountered that foreigner on my way to the village chief house and had dinner with Annie. It's quite rather rare to see a foreigner in this village, so I greeted him. Especially, how did you say it? I don't speak much Italian, but I still mustered the courage to say ciao. And what was his response? He said, save it, I can speak Chinese. Well, that was pretty awkward. Besides that, we had no further contact. Chief, what do you think of this statement? Well, although there are some obvious loopholes, it's still a good starting point.
Wait a sec.
Defendant, playing dumb won't get you through this. He really starting to howl like a wolf. What is he doing? Making fools of us?
Objection!
Did the defendant and his lawyers conclude to deploy delaying tactics? Khalud, you're overestimating. I can't even communicate with him. Objection sustained. Defense, please proceed with the questioning.
Wait a sec.
So you mean just because you have no motives, it's impossible for you to be the killer? How hopeless must you feel to think that a motive can acquit the defendant, Mr. Drake? But the lack of motives is an undeniable fact. Then open your eyes and listen carefully. Not all homicides have an obvious motive. How do I open my eyes and listen carefully? There's a contradiction there. Miss Prosecutor Stella, I think there's a contradiction in what you just said. And then she proceeds to punch him. And he's like, God, I really should have wore armor to court. Like killing for a profit. Seeking revenge against the society, indulging in violence, and so on. Hey, can you two please not suddenly be so in sync at a time like this?
Wait a sec.
Then why did you come to this strange remote village where you had no acquaintances at all? Obviously, it was for tourism. Only such remote villages can you admire the pristine nature. You dreary man in a suit sitting in your office every day can never understand the true essence of nature. Hey, I don't always wear a suit, and I exercise every day! Well, why should I care about this? Also, only having no bond to anyone is the demeanor of a proud wolf. Roaming alone, overlooking the world. That is the true path of a hero. I'm probably getting weird like looks from my neighbors who may be hearing this. What kind of hero is this? Seems like he has read too many night novels. The police investigated the defendant's background and found that he had no connection to the victim or the villagers before arriving. In this regard, the prosecution had no intention of denying it. I also believe it's unlikely that he knew the victim before. Wait.
Objection.
Nope. Thought I had something there.
Objection.
Nope. Alright, let's start with the obvious one.
Objection.
Yeah, I guess we're just gonna start with the obvious one. Mr. Cauliflower, I don't think you have a fully understanding of your situation. You never had a deep interaction with the victim? Then how do you explain the fingerprint on the collar of his shirt and shoe print on the trousers that belong to you? Oh! These traces would have been left without further interaction. Oh! Chief, he's trying to pretend to be a wolf who gets through this. If you refuse to say it, I'll do it for you. For an unknown reason, you had a confrontation with the victim. And then you grabbed his collar and kicked him in the butt. Isn't that right? My memory serves me right. You're my defense attorney, aren't you? I am. So what? Oh! Then you should be on my side. Why would you doubt what I say? I'm sorry. Trust is mutual. Without entrusting me with your life, how can I believe you? Chief, is this really okay? It seems like the other side is in turmoil. That saves me much trouble. Indeed, I should have gone solo. Dad's really meddling. Lawyers are no help at all. In that case, I'll say a few more words. Although his attitude is still quite annoying, at least he's willing to reveal more information. Whew! Is there any flaws in the prosecution? I may have to search more carefully in upcoming testimonies. Alright, I've waited long enough. You better talk about your actions on the night of the incident and stop talking about irrelevant things. If Mr. Drake still can't get any valuable clues, Your Honor, just handle it yourself. To be honest, the evidence is irrefutable enough. I don't think there will be any breakthroughs in questioning the defendant. Since both sides insist, let the defendant continue to testify. Okay, I did grab his collar and kick him, that's alright. But all this happened at dinner, not midnight. I just knocked him down on the bed. He couldn't have died just from that, right? On the night of the incident, I didn't leave the house and had no idea what happened at the cliff. In conclusion, how can I be the murderer? That's it. I'm gonna have to put a little more doubt in my defendant. But I still gotta press everything, cause come on. I agree, but I really am curious about if Mr. Drake has any tricks left. Luna, open your eyes and take a close look. Who is truly on the right path? I'm grateful for your concern, but how can I look with my ears? Although this testimony still has contradictions, there is some progress, more or less. I have a feeling that the loopholes of the prosecution is about to be torn apart.
Wait a sec.
You didn't leave your room. What were you up to that night? None of your business. Doesn't being a lawyer require you have to pay attention to others' nightlives? Like I'm interested. Your actions on the night of the incident were crucial to the case. You must explain them. Fine. I stayed in my room, enjoyed hot pot and singing songs. Are you satisfied now? Hot pot, man. I could go for some hot pot. Well, where would hot pot come from in a village like that? Can't you make up with this, come up with something a more believable lie?
Wait a sec.
Objection!
Hey, I haven't said anything yet. I object no matter what you plan to say. Well, with such testimony, I really can't think of any questions that won't be objected to.
Wait a sec.
Why did you do that? Are you trying to charge me with assault? Well, technically, yes, you are guilty of assault. Hey, you're facing much more serious charge than that. Recently, there has been a case of a foreigner scamming in rural areas. I confronted it face to face when he was definitely not a good guy. Why didn't you mention that earlier? Ooh, come on, say it earlier so that hag over there can convict me. What did you just call me? hobby is boxing. Yeah, no. And otaku. Hit me if you want. Hit me if you're not cool with it. How about 200 punches this time? Ugh! Brilliant. Prosecutor Ray counters her kryptonite.
Wait a sec.
So, where did you have the confrontation? Of course, it was right at the door of his room. Do you mean you were the one who knocked on the door? Of course. The wolf hunts by going straight to the prey's lair. And then your poor prey just died. Hey, can you refrain from saying things that can be so easily misunderstood? Hold on. When did the confrontation happen exactly? I think it was just before 6 p.m. We finished dinner around 5:30, and Annie insisted I leave. The village has a curfew, so it's impolite to stay in a villager's house after 6 p.m. So the time of the confrontation between Wolfgang Caulifers and the victim was before the curfew. Sounds like a truthful statement. Unfortunately, there's no evidence to prove it. Well, I mean, there's Annie's testimony.
Wait a sec.
So after you kicked him, you were sure he was still alive. Of course, merely being kicked and falling out of bed wouldn't be fatal, even for an elderly person. Please don't say like the judge. Please don't say like the judge. Well, even if the defendant kicked me, I'd like that, I probably wouldn't die, would I? Your Honor, you did not help my case. Why did you hesitate at the end? During your confrontation with the victim, didn't he fight back? Oh! I can't say for other things, but I have absolute confidence in my strength. That foreigner was not that weak, but after I grabbed him by the collar, he couldn't resist at all. Then I spun him around and kicked him down. How about that? Pretty impressive, huh? Oh! If it weren't for your impressive actions, there wouldn't be any evidence left. I don't know why, but I have seen a 3-year-old kid who just want to fight. Sorry.
Objection.
Sorry. Well, our lone wolf. Have you had enough fun yet? You didn't leave your room? Now what was captured in the camera? A ghost? Ah! Young man, at this point, do you think your lousy lies can help you escape conviction? You left the village gate at 1:26 on the night of the incident and returned at 2:18. This is already an ironclad fact. Ah! Winning eerie and strange curium. Oh, I think I did. I think I nailed it perfectly then. From what I know, wolves are highly social animals. You, a lone wolf cub, wouldn't survive much a harsh environment. Such a harsh environment. Ugh. I suggest you come clean. On the night of the incident, where did you go and what did you do? Right now, you're like a wolf trapped in a snare. If you keep not trusting others and not accepting help, you'll only freeze and starve to death in the courtroom. Can I really trust you? Dude, I'm a lawyer. Brilliant. Now he's really turned into a collie. You have no choice for now. Wolf. I still don't think you can help me. After all, I have done so many suspicious things. Well, we finally entered the formal questioning. Dealing with a client who doesn't communicate until the courtroom. I'm truly a miserable lawyer. And then on that night, I left the village. The reason I left the village was to admire the moon. Admire the moon? Wait, that sounds even more suspicious now. From August 19th to the 20th, there was a rare supermoon. To admire this phenomenon, I surveyed the nearby terrain on the afternoon of the 19th. Near Lemon Village, the cliff is the only and best unobstructed viewing spot. Supermoon. What's that? What is that? Oh, Chief, you're so outdated. You don't even know this kind of trivia? You said it's trivia. Why would I know it then? For someone without knowledge of astronomy, it's complicated to explain. All right, where's the Apollo when you need him? To put it simply, on this night, the moon reaches its closest point to the orbiter in its orbit around the Earth. When observed from the Earth, the moon appears exceptionally large and bright. Woo! Although this lady doesn't seem reliable, she knows quite a lot. Is that a compliment? This information is trivial, but in order to pursue a perfect investigation, I had Sirius compile a weather report. The moon was indeed big and round that night. There was no doubt about that. According to my calculations, around 2 a.m. was the best time for the moon's position. So I set my alarm for 1:15, left around 1:30, and I left the village, and around 1:30, I left the village gate. The moon was bright, and a nice dark valley view was stunning, which caused me to be slightly delayed. Then why did you arrive at the cliff specifically? About 1:50, if I remember correctly? In that case, if the time of death indicated by the victim's watch is correct, Wolfgang Califier arrived at the cliff right after the crime. Besides admiring the moon and the cliff, did you notice anything strange? I did glance down. Huh? Did you see anything? Woof! It was pitch black. Even the moonlight was blocked by the cliff. I couldn't see anything. Well, I knew it wouldn't be that easy. On your way from leaving the village to returning, did you encounter anyone? I don't think so. It was so late. Even a mosquito flying by would have been noticed. So you're saying that during your midnight trip out to the village, you never saw the victim at all? Is that correct? Of course. How could such a vulgar adventure out at midnight to embrace the gouger of nature? In that case, you really didn't kill them? God, this music is so good. I can't wait till I switch to YouTube Spot Premium because I hope it's on there. Mr. Drake, you really disappoint me. All your questionings just boiled down to having the defendant replace his old lies with new ones. Indeed, the defendant's word have no bias. If one gets exonerated by simply I didn't encounter the victim, there would be no need for a court. Allow me to clarify the prosecution's stance on the defense's testimony. It's utter nonsense and holds no credibility. The prosecution's chain of events remains unbreakable. The camera captured the victim and the defendant leaving the village one after another. Then only the defendant returned back. The time of the victim's death coincides with the absence of an alibi for the defendant. The victim's clothing has trace of a struggle with the defendant. The military dagger found at the scene suggests that the victim saw the defendant's intent to kill and drew a knife in self-defense. Unfortunately, the defense's seal-like body was completely immune to the attack of the dagger. That's not a human body. Just say he wasn't stabbed. In the end, the tragedy unfolded. Now the question remains whether it can constitute premeditated murder and on to the sentence. The prosecution plans to discuss this matter after the court has established that the victim was killed by the defendant. Above this prosecution is a perfect certification. Order! Order! Prosecutor Ray, I truly appreciate the opportunity you have given me to question the defendant. Without the testimony from the defendant, it's impossible to refute your seamlessly flawless chain of evidence. Oh, is that so-called bluffing technique? It is indeed, it is your specialty. Can you provide evidence that proves the defendant didn't encounter the victim at the cliff? It's true that we can no longer prove when exactly the defendant had the confrontation with the victim. However, when we consider the defendant's testimony, it raises new possibility about the truth of the crime scene. Nonsense! My deductions are flawless. There is no room for any unexplanational aspects. Mr. Drake, you better surrender now and save yourself from an embarrassing embarrassing in front of the younger generation. Indeed, Prosecutor Ray's chain of events is incredibly tight, with hardly any room for questioning. But it's far from flawless. For example, that thing at the crime scene. It was clearly left behind at the crime scene, yet it didn't appear here in any of the investigation's footage. Unfortunately, there are still unexplanational aspects in the prosecution's case. Oh, please explain. For example, although this is also suspicious, it wasn't found at the crime scene. Let's think about the items that didn't. No.
Hey, Zess.
What about this? Sis, what do you think? Your Honor, what do you think? I think the evidence submitted by the defense is completely inexplainable. I just casually submitted something. What? How dare you casually throw something to fool me? Take your punishment. Ooh, well, I feel like I was being manipulated by someone when I threw out my lawyer's license. I should reconsider it carefully. There's something left behind the crime scene, obviously. Neither two people captured in the footage were wearing it. Oh, wait, duh! I just sent this out.
Hey, Zess.
Paris, wait, hold on. I was sorry, I was mostly intrigued by the music. Cause god damn it, if any of the game devs are listening, please just put the music on Spotify. I promise, I will listen to it 100,000 times. And make all my coworkers annoyed with me. I already listened to so much Amori at work. And that was just in the past 2 days. Okay. What's this? A broken pair of sunglasses found at the scene of the victim's death. Since the prosecution claims that their deduction is person, you must be able to explain the origins of them, right? I thought you had something significant to say. These sunglasses have an advanced component on them, though I don't know its function. It's unlikely from the defendant, a common college student, so apparently it belonged to the victim. For unknown reasons, the victim left the village in sunglasses, and then the defendant kicked him off the cliff. That's it. I've been waiting for this. It seems we're both in agreement that these sunglasses are not the defendant's belongings, but the victim did really walk out of the village wearing these sunglasses. Unfortunately, your infantry contradicts this piece of this evidence.
Hey, Zess.
What's this? Can't you see? This is where the real contradiction lies. I think you're just the biggest contradiction here. Completely No. Time of death. So I guess we just submit the opposite report? Again, like, I mean, do I present the camera?
Hey, Zess.
Your Honor, Prosecutor Ray, please take a good look. What was the victim Please say, was the victim wearing gold sunglasses when he lost the village? If you can explain the origins of the sunglasses clearly, this case cannot be concluded so hasty. If you can't explain the origin of these sunglasses clearly, this case cannot be concluded so hasty. I knew you would seize on the trivial details. It perfectly fits my image of a defense attorney. I don't think these are trivial details. In a courtroom, a small detail can often tear open a fatal crack in the grand testimony. Next, I must launch a series of attacks to turn the tide in the courtroom. But Prosecutor Ray is already in a fighting posture. I must find the weakness in her counterattacks. Oh, we already doing this? We doing this. Prosecutor Ray, the origins of these sunglasses are crucial. It could significantly affect your court presentation. Oh, is that quite bold statement? If you think you're able to break the prosecution, then go ahead. The victim fell from his death from a cliff. A pair of sunglasses can't be directly cause of the case. Not even indirectly. You have no evidence to show that the existence of these sunglasses can introduce the suspicion on the defendant. At the least, even if something unusual about both of them. There's no trace on the surface. Are you completely sure there is no trace on these sunglasses? You don't think the forensics team is just idling around? No fingerprints on the frame or lenses. It's an unquestionable fact. The evidence reports provided by the criminal police has no room for doubt. Then why do they say no? They mean no. Is that so? Questioning the investigation report from the police seems to be meaningless. They wouldn't make a mistake in such a matter. I should listen carefully to her speech. There must be a loophole there somewhere. The victim fell. No, yeah, 'cause you're right. They wouldn't. You have no evidence to show that the existence of it can reduce the suspicion of the defendant. At very least, even if there was something unusual about them, there was a pair of sunglasses with no trace. It won't affect the case. I think it's going to be the second statement. This pair of sunglasses is an unexplainable item at the crime scene. To some extent, it can. Listen carefully to what I say, that is. You can use the entity to reduce suspicion against the defendant. Unless you can actually have such evidence, you're just wasting time. I don't have any of that kind of evidence. Indeed. Sunglasses cannot cause the case. Isn't that judgment a bit too hasty? How can sunglasses cause a fatal flaw? Are you suggesting that they were triggered shockwaves with a click? I guess it is the last statement. No way! No, you're wrong! The most unreasonable appearance of the reasonable appearance without any traces at the crime scene. If these sunglasses belong to the victim, how is it possible that there were no fingerprints left behind? Why is it impossible? What if the victim was wearing gloves? It's not like that. Take a look at the photo of the crime scene. The victim wasn't wearing gloves. If you insist that the sunglasses belong to the victim, then the fingerprints must be present on the frame. Well, if you suggest that the victim wiped off the fingerprints while falling from the cliff, all right, very well. Let's assume you noted something odd about this evidence. It doesn't clear the suspect of suspicion. Just as expected of Prosecutor Ray, she's quickly regained her composure. Stay focused in the next round of confrontation. These sunglasses could have been hidden in the victim's pocket. He might have not worn them at all. The function of the electronic component embedded is still unclear. You can't determine its relevance to the case. Furthermore, there's a slight possibility that it belonged to the defendant. Belonged to the defendant? I don't think so. How can you possess such a high-tech product? How long have you known your client? How can you claim to know everything about him? I've learned many things about him in court today in court. Then how can you deny the possibility? The sunglasses belong to him. Well, indeed. It's difficult to completely rule it out. No, it must stay clear of arguing that the sunglasses belong to the defendant. Getting entangled in this topic falls right into Prosecutor Ray's trap. Think carefully. Where's the loophole in her words? I think it could be here. The function of these sunglasses may be crucial. We cannot deny its irrelevance to this case. The prosecution has never denied the potential importance of the pair of the sunglasses. That's why we've been very cautious in our wording, stating that you cannot determine its direct relationship to the case. Unless you already figured it out and its purpose on your own in this courtroom. Have we? Of course not. You know, with such an exaggerated posture, prosecutor words may have almost followed. Think carefully. Where's the loophole in her words? Why not, you know? You claim the sunglasses were hidden in the victim's pockets? That's impossible. Look at this photo where the victim fell from such a height, yet there's no signs of his clothing being torn apart. This indicates his clothing were very, very sturdy. Had the sunglasses in his pockets, they would have been crushed into fall. But they wouldn't have been in a place so far away. Even so, the sunglasses could have slipped from his clothes during the fall, being blown away by the airflow when the victim hit the ground. If that was the case, the sunglasses would have suffered the very limited damage. It wouldn't have been like shattered like this. Well, they never know what her last statement was. Then go ahead and tell us what you think about the sunglasses. The conclusion is quite obvious. Our side believes that the sunglasses are found at the scene of the crime. Although the evidence is in my hand, it's not enough to pinpoint the suspect. But if this possibility exists, watch carefully, Prosecutor Ray and Luna. The pair of sunglasses reveals the presence of an unidentified third party at the crime scene. What? Nailed it. What a splendid confrontation. However, there's still another person at the scene. Why are you serious? Are you serious, defense? Order. If the sunglasses don't belong to the defendant or the victim, they must have been left by another person at the scene. The real culprit who killed Mr. El Garnado. Are you kidding? Just based on a broken pair of sunglasses with an unknown purpose, you can't prove that someone else was present. You're right, but what if there's more pieces of evidence pointing to this possibility? What? That's right, it's now time for that unclear item I found at the cliff yesterday. It's the best time to present it. The defense will now submit another piece of evidence to reveal a possibility of a third party at the crime scene.
Take this.
What? What's this? I'm not sure why, but a piece of cloth is hanging in the dark corner of the cliff wasn't discovered by the police.
Objection!
How come I didn't know about it? But what's so? It's just fragments of the victim's or the defendant's clothing.
Objection.
Please remain calm and refrain from jumping to conclusions too early. Let's take another look at the photos captured by the camera. The victim was wearing a white suit, while the defendant, Wolfgang Califier, was wearing a green coat and blue pants when he left the village. Both the colors and materials don't match, and there is no noticeable damages to their clothing. In other words, the piece of clothing doesn't belong to either of them. What? The cliff at the crime scene is exposed to wind and sun throughout the year. However, this strip only has a thin layer of dew and dust on it. It could have only been there recently, mostly on the day of the murder. If I'm not mistaken, it was the third person who appeared at the scene, left behind the black cloth and the sunglasses. These two pieces of evidence undermine the prosecution's argument that the defendant is the only possible murderer. How could such crucial evidence be overlooked? Serious, are you blind like a bat? Phew, finally, it's over for now. Order. I must admit the defense's claims are reasonable. This court must acknowledge the possibility of a third party aside from the defendant and the victim being present at the scene. However, based on the evidence currently available to both sides, it's impossible to either prove or refute it. Phew, that was close. We managed to get through today. What function does this broken pair of sunglasses possess? To whom does this piece of clothes belong? These questions need to be answered by both the defendant and the prosecution. Today's trial must come to an end. I look forward to further investigations from both sides. Now I declare today's session adjourned. Saving data. There we go. And button prompts. Oh. Yes, I would like to go back to the title. I know it's a shorter stream. I don't like having to do shorter streams, but I don't want this to go on for ages and then I'm just like, oh shit, it's like 10 p.m. and I need to get to bed. And also, like I said, my voice is still kind of recovering from the subathon, because you tried to talk for 13 hours. You tried to talk for 13 hours straight. Well, actually 13 and a half hours straight. And then you come back to me and you tell me how it felt. Taking short breaks here and there, and you are allowed to take breaks for like food and dinner and stuff. You do a 13-hour subathon, and then you come back to me and tell me how you felt, how your voice is doing. Though I say that, but I'm totally still doing like a 49-hour subathon for Extra Life. So, anyways, like I said, I'll be back. I won't actually be back Thursday. I'll be back on. I'm gonna dismiss that break because we're almost done. I'll be back tomorrow for some Pokemon Too Many Taps Because what do we have? We'll have too many types. Too many tabs. Too many tabs. What does this have? Too many tabs. And then, yes, like I said, Thursday we'll be back for more Trials of Innocence. Thursday we'll be back for more Trials of Innocence. And such. Saturday is, I don't know. I'll have to talk with the mods about what potentially we could do Saturday. I don't know if MacCap is going to join us or not or anything for that, but yeah, if anything, we'll see on stuff. And unfortunately, I do not see anyone in whom I can raid right now. So we are going to just have to end it. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Too Many Types.